Hey everyone, it's Tom from Campfire Chords, and today we're going to talk about guitar selection. Does guitar selection matter? And if it does, how much does it matter? When you're first starting out, most people will tell you to go out and buy whatever guitar you can afford. This is just bad advice. Picking a guitar based on what you can afford is probably the worst thing that someone could tell you to do. The most important thing about picking out a guitar is finding something that's easy to play, something that fits you, something that you can play for hours without getting tired. So the guitar does matter, but not necessarily just the guitar. It's really about the strings. So when someone tells you to go out and buy the best acoustic guitar that you can afford, you should definitely take their advice. Wrong! Unless you want your fingers to bleed so that you can get frustrated and quit. You see, most acoustic guitars come with brass strings, and if you're not familiar with brass strings, they're kind of tough on the fingers, especially for a beginner. When I first started playing guitar, I went out and bought the best acoustic guitar that I could afford, which was maybe about $200 or $300 at the time. Not even 2 weeks later, I ended up quitting because my fingers hurt so bad. But I really wanted to learn how to play guitar, so I thought, hey, what if I get a guitar that's maybe in the $500-$600 range? And that's exactly what I did. I went out and bought a Taylor 110, which is a good guitar, still brass strings. I then went out and bought a $200-$300 acoustic electric guitar without brass strings. And that's when I started to realize that not only are the strings different on acoustic guitars, but the travel distance that the string needs to press to the fretboard seems to be further, which means that you have to press harder just to get a clear note. What happens when you have to press the strings harder is that if you don't have your calluses out and you're just starting, the string just bends right into your finger and it mutes a note. I remember a few times when I was playing some long sessions where my fingers got so sore that they started to bleed, and instead of quitting, I just would tape them up and keep playing. Now that's not something we want to subject new guitar players to because you'll end up quitting. Here we have an Ed Sheeran signature guitar. It's an acoustic electric, but it has brass strings, so basically it's a wall ornament to me. Now if you look, this is what brass strings look like. And if you look from the side, you can see how far the strings have to go to press into the fretboard. That's quite a distance. Next, we have a Fender California Series acoustic electric guitar. This is probably my favorite guitar, and it's actually one of my cheapest guitars. But if you'll look, I've replaced the strings with steel strings. Steel strings are often found on electric guitars. And if you look from the side in the video, you can kind of see that the distance to the fretboard is less. Next up is a Squier Stratocaster. This one's got some pickup mods, as you can see down here. But this is a basic electric guitar that most people will tell you to buy to start with when they look to play electric guitar. You can see it has steel strings as well. It's kind of dirty, but you can see on electric guitar that the distance from the string to the fretboard is really small, which makes it really easy to play. So what kind of guitar should you get? My personal recommendation is to get an acoustic electric guitar and put some steel strings on it. Not only will you find it easier to play, but you can also plug into an amp if you need to do so. My second recommendation, if you're going to be playing inside and you're just trying to learn guitar and you have access to power, is to get an electric guitar. If I were you, I would try to avoid acoustic guitars entirely, unless you want to put some steel strings on them. I'm not saying that there's not a good acoustic guitar to play, I just found in my personal experience it was harder for me to learn and keep playing. Now, one of the major concerns people have with not getting an acoustic guitar or getting an electric or getting an acoustic electric is that they play acoustic songs. Look, just because you have an acoustic electric or electric guitar that plugs into an amp doesn't mean you have to be shredding heavy metal all day. You can still use it as a regular guitar. If you don't believe me, I'll show you. This is a C chord with brass strings on an acoustic guitar. This is a C chord with steel strings on an acoustic guitar. This is a C chord on an electric guitar with clean setting, which is non-distortion. Mind blowing, right? Now don't get me wrong, there's definitely a sound quality difference between those three guitars, but if you're just starting out and learning to play, it's not really going to make much difference for now. If this is your first guitar or you're a beginner, don't make the mistake of ordering your guitar online. Go into your local music store where some experts can help you make the right choice. It's not that you can't find a good guitar online, but is it going to be good for you? You should always try a guitar out before you purchase it. Well, that's all the time I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to get more videos like this in the future, and as always, feel free to leave me your comments and questions. Thanks for watching.